Yeah. So we are
Okay,
all
great.
live, yeah, and Facebook.
Okay.
So welcome, each one of you. I hope if I'm audible, it's fine. So we have a very special guest today. Her name is Kripa Aiyar, right? So she is an author by profession, life enthusiast, and advocate for women's transformation. Very interesting. So, how do you the way you have mentioned that you are an advocate for women's transformation? So, what is your role in this? So, how you transform women responsible for their transformation? Over to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
great. Yeah.
short about you, Kripa. Over.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to thank you, Devasmita, for giving me an opportunity to come and be the guest speaker here because that's something really special. Not everybody actually initiates to have guest speakers, and now that we know we are completely on a different continent, so thank you so much once again. Your question towards me of how me being an advocate, it's like, as you mentioned, I'm an author and a life enthusiast. This is my second book, actually. The first book that I actually wrote was something to do with women, which actually spoke. The book title is actually called as Her Unbroken Spirit, where it was very important for me to focus around we women because we women normally play different kind of roles, and at some point of time, we actually forget to take care of ourselves in terms of self-love, loving ourselves, which is very important, and healing process. So there are a lot of women out in there with silenced voices where obviously our society it's completely difficult and different. And as we all know, it's been dominated by men and it's a men-dominated society. We women actually suffer a lot being at home where our voices do not reach. So the least I could do, it's like I have kind of like helped a few women out in there, definitely yes, where they come from different backgrounds where they find the partners are too abusive at home, they beat them, and now it's like a lot of us. I know we have that culture. We used to have that culture where we were always pushed into arranged marriages because our societies did not allow us, and the cultures weren't that open enough to take. So I believe like we women kind of like had a lot of peer pressure from the parents where at the age of 30, you're supposed to forcefully be out of the house, get married to, and you're not even sure whether you're ready for a marriage. So there are a lot of women who actually suffer throughout. It's like the voices don't come out eventually. But I think the best I have always helped women, it's like try to be independent because that's something very important, no matter if you're educated, no matter if you work at a store, that's still okay, but you're surviving yourself and you're taking care. I would not say that do not seek support from your partners. Definitely, yes, but only when it's needed because at the end of the day, one should be independent and not being dependent. So there are these two women that I actually advocated, and now they seem to be in a better place. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, you have mentioned that you are from the different continent. People here are not aware about it. Which continent are you belonging from? Yeah, yes.
Okay. I am born and brought up in Bombay, so my schooling was in Mumbai completely, and then I moved to Central Africa, where we stay in Zambia, a city called as Lusaka. It's the capital city, so I'm here now. However, I my in-laws are in India. My father's house is in Bombay, so definitely I do keep hopping, but this is my home, and that's my second home.
Interesting. Yeah. And yes, now questions. Okay.
Mhm,
So, what
mhm.
are the most significant barriers to menstrual equity that people face in different parts of the world today?
I think coming to menstruation, that has always been a taboo in our cultures and in our society, especially I'm emphasizing society because where I stay in this continent, obviously everything is openly spoken, but it's not that it's a shame. Yeah, people do come forward, they do appreciate, they do have partners who actually speak about openly. But with us, I think it's always been a taboo where we are taught not to speak about menstruation in front of our fathers, in front of our brothers, in front of our partners, because for them, they consider blood to be a sin, but it's not a sin. Yeah, it's a natural process because I believe like when a woman can deliver, when she can give birth, and when a man is ready to be with her when she is giving birth, obviously it takes a lot of time for him also where he needs to understand that he's also supposed to be a part of a woman while she's menstruating because each woman has got a different cycles to handle. The adolescents, girls have got different cycles. But if we don't speak about periods as such, it's going to be very difficult. And I think the best we could do, it's like we kind of need to have this in some kind of a curriculum in the school. Not sure how it is, because by the way, I don't know if I'm going loud. This is the second book actually I'm launching on the 25th of this month, which says Bleeding with Pride, Your Comprehensive Menstrual Guide, where we speak about menstruation openly. So I think the worst thing that we do, it's like we shut a lot about speaking about menstruation. Like, there's always been, I know I come from a conservative family where my father always used to, my mother used to always say, don't speak about this in front of your brother, don't speak about this in front of your father. But I think we need to cut down this taboo. It's been long now. It's high time. We need to actually start speaking about menstruation openly.
Because recently there was a movie by Akshay Kumar, if you are aware about it, Bollywood movies. Okay, and Twinkle Khanna have they have distributed pads.
Pat,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
they
yes.
have come up with this movie. It's not a shame. This is normal because as much it's like the normal, every day, every time we have to pass on something. Like we have to. This is what to say, the internal things which is coming up. This is a process. So now next question towards you: how can governments and non-governmental organizations work together to ensure that everyone has this access to menstrual hygiene products?
I think, Debasmita, coming to the governments and the NGOs, I'm not sure about India for now for NGOs, but I think the first thing we need to focus on is sanitation, hygiene and sanitation that actually goes together, because I know a lot of villages, a lot of schools, they do not have the facility for water. Imagine for the girls who actually menstruate, probably a girl child would be menstruating, say, for 4 days or 5 days. Debasmita, you're there? Hi, Debasmita. Can you
Hey,
hear
continue
me?
because there is an internet issues happening, so don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah,
great. Okay, great. So I think we need to come forward. Government has to actually look into the sanitation. I know in India we have a lot of schools who do not have enough water, and I think it's very important for NGOs to come forward where we could actually have the awareness campaigns. We could have workshops where we actually speak about what menstruation is and how a girl child is being taught by her teacher or by her elder. Normally, basically, you need to have a hygiene kit where the government can the best do. It's like kind of like have hygiene kit along with the soap. I know there are a lot of places like imagine a majority of girls they use disposable pads. So when they kind of like use disposable pads and when they finish menstruating, where does the disposable pad go to? It's not recycled, right? So I think the
yeah,
best practice we could do, it's like we probably could get in the reusable pads that we have nowadays in India. And obviously the girls and a lot of women, I never knew what menstrual cup was all about. I think we need to bring in the awareness and we need to talk about all different menstrual products that are actually available where NGOs and government can definitely come forward and support the community centers there. Yes, they can definitely do that.
yeah. Interesting. Now your next question. Before I go to your next question, you were showing your book, and you are definitely, because this book is very important. Tell about something about this book. Yeah, you have the book with you, right?
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. I don't know if you could
Yes, I can see it. Yeah, it's
see or if
visible.
everybody could see. The book actually is written. Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, it says bleeding within on the experiences as a menstruating woman, as a menstruating individual that I am. And I think this book is considered, okay, it's a book, right? So an author is allowed to write all kinds of contents in the book. So my book actually speaks about how it has affected the transgenders and what are the strategies and difficulties that challenges that disabilities face. What are the difficulties and strategies that autistic girls face as well? So this book actually has got 32 chapters, and there are a lot of contents on menstrual health.
Interesting. So is it available now, or you will be available coming soon in Amazon? Is it published?
Coming soon, yeah, because no, it's not yet published because 25th of this event, along with the period festival in next month, it should be available on Amazon.
Okay. So to those people who are watching, I will be sharing the link with them about if they want to be a part of the webinar, want to see how it is happening, how the book launch.
Yeah. Yes, definitely, not a problem. They could reach. They could get in touch with me. Smita, probably you could guide them through, and then they could definitely be a part of the event. That's absolutely okay.
Okay. So Kripa, what will I do is I will be putting in the description box. Okay, after our event.
No problem. That's okay.
So that I can be also a part of it. I want to see how it's happening, because a lot of interesting conversation will happen in that particular event. Because when we are discussing about the health, we are talking about the employees also. Because in the companies, this sometimes happen that women are being ashamed of suddenly the period starts. Okay, and another women colleague, instead of giving the pad, the sometimes it happens that making the person ashamed that your period has been start, right?
Yes.
So what is for them? What is your message? Means how can they manage themselves that time?
You mean to say women at the workplaces when they menstruate?
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes this happens, right? In the woman next sitting to you. Okay, your period. Suppose, for example, I also feel sometimes like this. My period starts, and and the person who was sitting, instead of telling me or giving me the pad, it was like her started. But one person have took the initiative, bought a pad for me, and helped me out. But the woman should be a friend, right?
Yeah. I think, Debasmita, that's a good question actually that you put in forward. But I believe like men should also be taught about menstrual products. It's not only women. I know we have. I always believe, and I've seen like woman to woman is always a problem, and it's going to be a problem throughout. Yeah, and I feel it's like the moment you start helping out your friend or your colleague with the pads, I think there are a few initiatives that the workplaces could actually bring into culture. I'm not sure how it works in India, but here it's like few companies like they have pads kept for the women. Yeah. So obviously, yes, the men need to be taught what kind of the menstrual products are available, and let that not be a shame. Let men also take an initiative. So suppose, say you work in an environment, especially the projects where you're entitled to with 7 men and you have got your periods, and unfortunately you're not carrying a pad. So at least a man should know, and it should be open enough a conversation where he could actually go and get a pad. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of time for the awareness to come forward. But the best we could do, it's like try to have a lot of facility for the women individual, especially when she is menstruating in the workplaces. And I think it should be open because obviously we don't speak about sex education and it's kind of like, shut. But it's like we need to come forward and start speaking about it because it's okay to bleed. I think when periods do not discriminate us, we should also not be discriminating periods. So yeah, I think we could do that definitely.
Thank you for the answer. It's very insightful actually. So, what role do education and awareness making stigma associated with menstruation across different cultures? Have you got my question?
Please repeat.
Yeah. What role do education and awareness play in breaking the stigma associated with menstruation across different cultures?
I think the best like we could do, it's like coming forward and speaking about it, Debasmita, as what I have been trying to speak more and emphasize more about this, because I don't know, have you experienced this, or probably a lot of women watching our conversations here? If you happen to visit a medical store in India, yeah, and if you ask the pharmacist out in there across the counter and ask him, like, I need pads, the first thing they do, it's like they wait for other people to leave the place and they will write for you in a paper, yeah. And I think it's a taboo. You don't do that, yeah, because I think I remember when I traveled to Bombay last year and I was out of pads and I apparently had to visit a nearest medical store and I told him, Bhaiya, mujhe pads chahiye. And I had to laugh out loud because I'm trying to make him understand it's normal. Don't wrap it in a paper. And then the answer he gives me, it's like, Bahanji, it's like people come and take it like this. Like women are the one who come and tell them. It's not a shame. I think that needs to be stopped. And the most and foremost, I believe it's like every school, government school, private school, should have kind of a workshop related to the awareness of menstruation, for menstruation, because we are only talking here about children, right? Because when we talk about schools, it's obviously children where they could see, they could hear. Now, imagine scenarios where there's a blind child, yeah, impaired individual, where they go to a mall or where they go to a medical store and they are not accessible to any of the pads around. So the best we could do, it's like kind of like integrate the braille language for them to touch and see whether it's a pad, whether it's a tampon, whether it's a menstrual cup. I think that would help. So we need to have a lot of workshops for the impaired individuals where everything, obviously, they cannot see. So probably they could hear, and there has to be some kind of thing. And also, like, it will be more helpful. I'm not sure about the curriculum in India now that I know, like, a lot of them speak about good touch, bad touch, and I think the first issue and the first problem we have in here is like we openly don't speak about sex education in India. And that's the reason we have a lot of these cases that we have been actually seeing and hearing because of rape or it could be whatever. But I think the moment we start speaking about it openly, everything falls under place. So even if we speak about menstrual health openly, obviously the cultures have got different stigma where certain houses practice like, or if she's got period, she's supposed to not enter the prayer room. She's supposed to be away 3 days. She's supposed to eat in a different plate, different spoon. I understand to a certain extent we can follow, but we cannot follow it throughout because it is going to affect the forthcoming generations. And I think kids these days are more smarter than us. And obviously, due to their upbringing, they menstruate very early, probably if they're in grade 6 or grade 5. So I think awareness programs and workshops could definitely help for the education system to look into. Yes.
Yeah, interesting. It's seriously a very important, means very insightful discussion. Definitely, it should be bring in the curriculum. The school should take the initiative, making them understand that this is sexual
Yes.
education. This periods education is also important for if you are teaching from the very beginning of the child. Like biology is important. So
Yes,
even
it
male,
is.
female, both the children. So it will be easy for them to interact and to help each other during this crisis period.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because
So
most of the schools in Bombay or in India are co-education, yeah. So when you have the co-ed, obviously when a girl menstruates in when she's in grade 6 or grade 7, I know the boys kind of like bully the girl child, yeah, and it becomes very awkward for the girl because there are no much of teachers out in there. It becomes very difficult. You cannot go and ask a PE teacher to give a pad. So I think these conversations have to come forward openly. Then yes, I think it would definitely help.
yeah, very interesting. Now, another this which comes when you are talking about the visually impaired children. Okay,
Mhm.
this is a very insightful because if they are touching this material, they can understand what is happening.
Yes,
Because
yes,
otherwise, people will take their advantage in a wrong way. So if they are
absolutely.
being educated, these special children are being educated in a different format about this because all the female children are having these issues from the
Yes.
age of 10 to this starts at the age of 10 and till 45 years
Yes,
they have to.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
So if they are getting educated that time, it will be of a great help. So yeah.
absolutely.
Yes, and I'm appreciating the book because we never thought of that this book can help for the autistic children, if I'm not too much mistaken. And for the visually impaired, what I will
Yes.
suggest, because I am associated with several NGOs in India, definitely I
Mhm.
will be putting forward this book to those people, those children, and those women who will be getting benefited with this book. So I will suggest,
Absolutely, Deepasmita,
yeah,
yes.
so this webinar days and everything will be mentioned. You will please come and watch, because on that day the books and everything will be launching. This is something where you will be learning more about this book. So this,
Absolutely.
yeah. So the thing is, I am getting inspired knowing this book, because I will be thinking of something else with you, working with you in a different perspective about this book. And this has, we will be soon going to be what you can say. Um, since we are relatives, okay, but we will be anyways, the thing is, we will be collaborating soon for this purpose as a book,
Yeah.
in the book, because I am also an author. I have also published some books in Amazon. I will be
Mhm.
soon collaborating with you regarding
Mhm.
this thing. Yeah. So how does period poverty affect the education opportunities for menstruation, and what measures can be taken to mitigate the
Stop it.
impact?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think ending period poverty, we all speak about we need to end period poverty, we need to end period poverty. And I think, suppose if you see the graph, it's hardly few percent that India is coming forward to speak about period poverty and how. But majority as a survey, if you see Debasmita, when you have periods and ending period poverty, obviously the first drawback, it's like a girl child refuses to go to school because she does not have access to the menstruation products. And obviously, I think the best we could do is like, I mean, sharing my experiences that I stay in Zambia, a different continent altogether. I would like to share certain things here. It's like the poverty levels are a little high compared to India. India, it's a mass. Here, the population is a little low. So what happens here? It's like a girl child cannot afford a pad. Yeah. So that's how we got into a culture of distributing reusable pads. But again, the reusable pads, it's like if you do not have sanitation, you cannot wash the reusable pad. I mean, that is something that we need to consider, because if a child is going, obviously a different girls menstruate different days. Yeah, some would menstruate for 4 days, the normal menstruation, some 5, some 6. Imagine if they cannot afford to buy a pad and they use the same reusable pad for 6 days, because they come and tell you forward, it's like pani nahi hai ghar pe dhone ke liye, yeah, and it's like it's being the shame. Obviously, you cannot go outside and wash. Imagine the infections that they end up getting in terms of like yeast infections, in terms of urinary tract. I think it's very important for us to look into it. And majority places, like I have seen personally, if they have periods, they don't come to school, and I think that needs to be stopped. So I think if we start subsidizing the reusable pads in bulk, we go forward, we go to the community centers. I'm not sure about India because I've never visited a community center there, but I think we could do a lot together and to end period poverty. Because when you go to these rural areas, yeah, it's like they don't know what periods is all about. They have only heard through, because there's always been a tradition. Either the grandmother speaks about it, either the aunt speaks about it, and you're kept separately for 4 days or 5 days. I think that needs to be stopped. And we need to create awareness programs to them and telling them what period is all about, what are the difficulties you would face, because some might have cramps, some might have headaches, some the body functions completely different. And I think it's very important for us to actually tell them what are the phases in the menstruation. Only then they understand, because there's a lot involved when it comes to menstruation. So we could do together, because I believe like if we are trying to speak about donating, say, pads, yeah, if we say we are going to give them the pads, the disposable pads, we give them, they don't even have a space where they could go and recycle it. They have just thrown it somewhere, and we know it's like we still haven't come to the fact like the garbage is collected or the city is clean. We still follow the fact like we dump everything together. So imagine like a lot of pads that actually lie, and when they lie, it affects the environment. Yeah, so we need to go greener for that. So I think yes, we need to create awareness campaigns where we could talk about it, how we could help. And I think the moment we start creating awareness campaigns and going door to door, this definitely will end the period poverty at some point of time. Yes.
Yes, actually, yes. India, the problem is, today only I was having a discussion with my other house help. Okay, I asked her during this period, this menstruation, what you do. So she still I'm using the cloth, okay, and I'm cleaning that cloth. And I asked her, how many clothes do you do because recycle it or you throw it out because it's related to your body because it is something which is not required. So infection might happen. So she was telling, see, in our rural areas, we put this because this is their own which is their mind, that their ancestors have told them that this is fine. If you this is fine. This is the way you have been grown up. So instead of why you and even if in childhood sometimes whenever we have this periods inside the school and then I also did something like wrapping my the handkerchief which was lying on spot. I put that handkerchief and then instead of where to go because we were children that time. So we have to be in the school, but school authority was not having pad. So because that time
The
the
problem, yes.
thing is
Yes, yes.
because this was a shame to talk about in front of everybody. See, this is what happened, and they were just hide yourself. Like
Yes.
something had happened, which is nothing to discuss with. This was the fear they have put it in such a way that belief is something which has already been inculcated that whenever the periods comes, we will show our face and we will not discuss with anyone because this is something very
Yes, yes.
this is
And
something
yes.
confidential that is this is within you. You should be keeping within you. You should not speak with someone.
But it's like, yeah, but that has actually affected a lot, the Basmita. Now, if you go to see, it's like things are actually getting bad. And it's like we need to bring in, because I see there are a lot of menstrual products available in the market where they sell tampons, yeah. And there are a lot of menstrual products like menstrual cup. And honestly, I'm someone who never knew what a menstrual cup is. I'm someone who never knew what a tampon is. Yeah, but when I started writing the book, there were a lot of research that I did, and per se, it's like we cannot advise like you use tampon or XYZ uses menstrual disc or XYZ uses menstrual cup, because again, there's this toxic syndrome shock that each one gets when you try to insert. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend like, okay, a menstrual cup is for me or it's for you or it's for an XYZ. We need to go through it because there are a lot of side effects on anything that we use, and we women have been given or gifted with that reproductive health kind of system where we cannot play around with it. So I think each one has to learn what menstrual product is all about and what's the best, obviously, that is advised for them to use. And yeah, I think it's good to go.
Interesting. So next
Yeah.
question to you: can you discuss the environment impact of menstrual products and what sustainable alternative exists that can help to reduce this?
Obviously disposable pads that we all use, yeah. And I think now, I think 2 years before when I traveled to India, I heard about wet waste, dry waste. Yeah, when you have it in your bins at home. But we all dispose and we put it in the bin, right? And he bifurcates things differently. Imagine all of this going to one dumping yard and it's not even recycled, yeah. So it's obviously affecting the environment in all possible ways. And I don't know, there's always, our mothers, our grandmothers have always said like, I don't know, ये श्राप है, या ये ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए, उसको wrap करना चाहिए, उसको ऐसे फेंकना चाहिए, वैसे फेंकना चाहिए. You hear a lot of this misconceptions happening around throughout the life. But I think the best we could do, it's like, as you were mentioning a few minutes before, like your house help said, like she's okay using a cloth. I would actually recommend use reusable pads, obviously. It's not that we cannot afford in the urban areas. We do also go through the same thing. It's just like we don't suffer much compared to the rural areas. But I think reusable pads are much better because you have the alternative to keep washing. And then, yes, I think the more you wash, it is not going to harm your environment in any which ways. And being it recycled, it becomes very easy.
But the wrapping is proper. We should wrap properly because many times we come to know that even the dog or the other creatures like the other animals, yeah, they might be there may be a chance of leaking that because they don't know, right? They cannot segregate what is food and what is
Absolutely.
bad and harm. So it's wise to wrap it and throw it because it will not to make a proper hygiene. Yeah.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yes. So what? Yes. And another thing is, many people will think of why not to flush it out. Flushing out is a problem because there is a plastic inside it, which is harmful again.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it
For
kind of
creating
like, yeah, it kind of like
sure,
chokes
please
the
go ahead.
whole sewage system completely at the end of the day, where you end up spending more cleaning your toilets. So it's not advisable to flush your pads. I mean, you can actually, because this menstrual cup that has come in the market, and we have different sizes, size A, size B, size C. I don't know how it is that side, but it's advisable because it's silicone made and it kind of like you can refilter it, you can reclean it, you can sterilize it and use it again. But it again depends on each one's preference. Some would be comfortable with it, some wouldn't be comfortable. But I think it's always important for us to look into our environment first before we pick a product wisely. Yes.
Yes. So my next question to you, what challenge do transgender and non-binary individual faces regarding menstrual health, and how can society be more inclusive in addressing these issues?
I think the topic of transgender and LGBTQ community is very thin line to discuss upon because we do not entertain them per se. And I think we have always said, like, he's a transgender, she's a transgender. Let's not go near them. Let's not entertain them. I think it's the society that has actually not allowed us to go forward and talk to them or support them. But I see, like, in India, majority places, I don't know if it's a restaurant in Bombay who actually have hired transgenders to come and work there. I think it's in Navi Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. But I think when I see at their side of story, trans men, they convert themselves into a woman, into a trans woman, into a transgender, sorry. They go through a lot of surgeries, and obviously it's not advisable for each one because there's a lot of pain involved and nobody would want to have pain. But imagine a worse scenario, Devasmita, when they have to urinate, they cannot enter a men's toilet, they cannot enter a female's toilet. For them, we need to have separate toilet. And when I talk about it, it's like it's very difficult to see them like that. And it's a lot of pain for us per se, because when they go to a man's toilet, obviously he would ask, "You're not a man." When they go to a women's toilet, we do not entertain them. Obviously, they need to have their own separate toilets. They need to have their own different washrooms where they could go wash themselves. At the end of the day, they are human beings as well. And the other thing that we have always got the pre-concept is like, they also bleed, yes, and my book actually speaks about them bleeding. They also bleed. It's such a sad story, and it's such a sad thing to accept the reality. It's like when they happen to go to a pharmacy, they are not given menstrual pads because the first thing that arises: are you sexually active? Who are you? Are you a man? Are you a woman? Right? And we kind of like have given them a lot of names in inverted commas, which I wouldn't want to speak about, but I think we need to do something about it. And I think now that obviously the India especially has got, I remember when a friend of mine was actually making a passport, and she told me, like, we do have columns where it says man, female, other gender. And I think we should come forward like that to support them. And obviously it's not going to be fortnight, overnight kind of things changing, but we definitely need to give them space because they're doing a lot. They have a good community. They are doing a lot, and I could see a lot of social work that they get involved into. Yes, I think toilets are something which needs to be considered, and it's like, let's not bully them, because I see a lot of men, yeah, they kind of like have sex with them, especially in the highways, yeah, and I think that keeps continuing. But I think let's not do that, because at the end of the day they're human beings, so we need to come forward to do it. But I think again it's like an individual's choice to speak about this, yeah, because we stay in a country where we're not allowed to speak something, because we have been taught like that, yeah. If you go and speak to a transgender, obviously at home you're going to be questioned, why do you have to speak to a transgender? Are you normal? Are you not normal? You don't have normal friends. So yes, the awareness has to come forward.
Yeah, because it is very interesting aspect. My life purpose is to help them as well. So definitely we on this bits, because this is something which has to be put forward and make the
Yes.
people also aware that they are also human beings. We should accept them in the society, as that's the thing is, we are all connected. The universe is making us connected to
Absolutely.
bring it forward, to how to discuss about this. The fact is, there are lots and lots of things to learn. There are lots and lots of things to do for the societal benefit. And, and it's a blessing, the way we are connecting, the way we are interacting today. And so openly we are coming to we are trying to give the values. So it is not the end, Kripa. This is the
Absolutely.
starting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I started with
Absolutely. Yeah.
you in your Facebook. Now we will go to Instagram. We will speak in LinkedIn. We will be speaking in different other platform and Twitter. Because as much as the people will get to know about this, awareness comes. Okay, because I am planning for launching some books where I will want to collaborate with you, because this book helps me a lot. Because a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to grow. Because being a lifelong learner, and I'm a book reader. In my last, I think, in my last, Meenakshi was there with me in my last talk show. She was genius, and I want to work. I want to coordinate. I want to collaborate with you and her as well, because this excites me, because she's also doing certain things. So definitely it will give certain impact in the society. She is also with several other NGOs, which she can also help
Definitely,
us,
yes.
because she's from Bangalore and I'm from Mumbai, and you are now, though you are from, though actual relationship with you and me is you are my sister-in-law's a sister. So definitely we are all in the
Absolutely.
family group. Yeah, so this is my family.
Yeah.
So and they are also my
Absolutely.
family, extended family, because now the fact is, since we are coming forward, taking the initiative to help the people in the several ways, so definitely we will be working together in the
Yes.
upcoming days. And
Yeah.
and I'll share the link of your event. Just help me out with that.
Okay.
Just message me so that I can put the
Okay.
link here. Yeah.
Okay.
So, so those who are watching, I will request you to just to put down any question, whatever for Kripa.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what she will do after the live, she will come to that page. I will share the link with her. So she will come to the page. She will give you all the answers. I can't go two things together. So I would request you. I'm so extremely sorry for this. Put the questions. She will definitely answer you. Kripa, I would request you
Absolutely.
to just to come and give the answers to them. There are certain questions which she can give the answers, because she is dealing with this particular topic, and which is
Topic.
very useful. Yeah, and
Yeah.
which is very useful, because women has to get educated. Not only women, men also side by side. Because
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. It's
yes,
important.
so
That's what it's a very mandatory, where I have put Debasmita in my book launch. I'll share certain posters with you, because we do
okay,
have a ministry of health here in Zambia, where I am, and we do have the
okay,
district health director who's coming forward to be the guest of honor. So there are a lot of panelists actually who's coming through. So when we talk about bleeding, it only restricts to women. And that's why I had to actually pass on this invitation to all my acquaintances here. It's open for both genders so that men could also come participate, and how they could actually learn by supporting their partners is also very important. Definitely, yes.
Yeah. So in that posters, when you're posting, tag me, okay, so that I can share.
I can do one thing. I can send it to you through WhatsApp, and you could go ahead,
Yeah.
because I don't think you and me are friends on Facebook, if I'm not wrong.
No,
We are
we
friends on
are connected
Instagram.
on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
No problem. I
Yes.
could do that.
Uh-huh.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So fine. So what we will be doing, I will be tagging you here because there is a method of tagging you here. I will be doing that in Facebook
Okay.
while I'm just
Okay.
posting your. And today when I'm just going to share the link, because this link has to be shared, because otherwise how will you come and give the answers,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Definitely.
After
I'll
this
type it on the
page, yeah,
comments.
that
Yeah.
I'm sharing. Yeah.
No
After
problem.
this event, I'll be sharing everything with you so that you
Okay.
can definitely go ahead. And because our intention is to provide value, our intention is to educate you, our intention is to learn from you. There's this, we are in the journey of lifelong learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as your knowledge will work for us, similarly, some maybe this book also going to give you great insights, which will help you to support
Absolutely.
someone who is in need. Yes. So if any person who is watching from NGO, please connect, because this book is specifically, if you have listened to her properly, this book is talking about differently able children. The book for the transgenders. Even I am connected with several NGOs. Definitely, I will be putting forward. Plus, I need your assistance, those who are watching. So this book has to reach to maximum, because it is something which will change the entire thinking system, this thinking
Absolutely.
processing,
Yeah.
of the men, women in the society.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So as per for this wash and everything, it's already 7:46. So
Absolutely.
Considering this into time and everything, we will be wrapping up. But this is not this is the end in this, but the hour, we have just terminated the seeds at this moment. Lots and lots of work to do. This is just the starting. Yeah, and lots. Yes. So
Thank
fine.
you so
So
much, Debasita. We will be in touch. And I think I would like to thank everybody who's actually taken time to come forward and watch us live. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. As Debasmita was mentioning, I would definitely I would comment once the link is shared. If you have any questions, please go forward. And I will try my best to connect you guys with the webinar that we are having on the 25th of May. And if I happen to travel to India, then I would definitely like to meet each and everyone who actually participated to take a little time for the discussion. Thank you, Debasmita. It was a pleasure talking to you. We'll be in touch.
Yes. Yeah, sure. The same thing, that is always a learning wherever we are meeting. So definitely we are looking forward for the collaborations. And thank you so much.
Thanks.
So
okay, bye. Yeah, bye.
Bye. Bye. Yeah.